I've been smoking for 53 years.
Welcome back to Dumb and Broke. I'm Brian.
And I'm Chelsea.
And
we know Tegan.
Like, do I need to say?
I was kind of hoping you were just going to be like, and I'm Tegan. Just like, regular scheduled programming.
Exactly, yeah. You knew it was coming.
Is this 3 or 4?
This is 4. 4?
I think.
Yeah, it's 4.
4.
Yeah.
She's a regular.
I'm just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, why?
You can't get rid of me.
When are you going to ask me just to be a permanent co-host? Tegan's here, and she's here with her broken foot.
I know. It's been 6...
I don't know if you guys heard that, but she just stomped her
Curb
broken
stomps,
foot.
yeah. Yeah, it's been 6 weeks. And it's like been long, but fast at the same time. Because, I feel like in the mind, I was thinking about this even before I broke my foot, that I was like, oh man, it would be nice just to be off for like a while, just like have nothing to do.
Take a little sabbatical.
And now that that's happening, I'm like, fuck me, I'm bored.
Yeah.
But I guess also because I can't really do much, like I can't do any of my normal activities, like even going, I have to like Uber. My Uber budget has been more than the entire time I've lived in New York City, to be honest, because I always make you guys Subway wherever we're going,
right.
Mostly. And now it's like even walking on crutches a little ways, I'm just like, one, pouring sweat, which is not normally that different from my normal life, but it's like extra bad. So, yeah.
Well, I don't mind Ubering because I don't really like walking. So, yeah. Like on my birthday, like we Ubered. Like it was a big group of us going to a different bar, and of course Tegan had an Uber, and I was like, I'm getting in that Uber. I am not being with a group of walkers.
Yeah.
Right. What are you, poor?
So it did get a little sticky because my job, I was supposed to start a new position in the clinic full time. And I was supposed to start 2 days after I told them that I broke my foot. So I was also convinced that they thought I broke my foot on purpose to just not go in, which is not true. Not true.
Which is valid. Maybe someone would. I probably would.
Last week we were talking about as a kid wanting to be injured for attention.
Yeah.
But I feel like as an adult, there's really nothing worse.
Yeah.
No, especially again, living in New York City, like things you don't think, even if I didn't, it's my right foot. So I couldn't even drive if I really wanted to. But here it's just like a whole nother level. But hypothetically, there are so many services to be able to do laundry and groceries and things like that. So it is. And everyone has been super nice. I will say that. That has been the nice thing. We've gone out gone to Pencil even. And Pencil Factory, obviously, can get a little crazy in there. But Kenny, our favorite bouncer, clears the way, we go sit down right away. So
I was about to say, have you told your doctor that you still go out partying, getting drunk, and...
No, what do you mean?
You're not just like forthcoming with that information?
Well, so she asked me about the crutches because it's actually down the block, so it's actually convenient to get there. So I walk. Well, I walk on my crutches to get there, obviously, because I'm not going to Uber there. And every time I've gone in, because I have to go every 2 to 3 weeks to get more X-rays to check the progress, and she's always like, "Oh, so you're still on the crutches?" And I was like, "Well, just like if I'm walking far, obviously in my house, I'm not crutching around, but." In my mind, I'm like, did you really expect me to not leave my house at all? So it's just confusing. Sometimes she I don't know, just confusing.
Does she know what she's doing?
But,
I've never broken anything. Have you?
No.
Yeah, I kind of wish I did.
I don't know. That's my never have I ever.
That's it.
That
Yeah.
I use.
That's a pretty good one because I feel like you should get. I only broke one other bone. It was my arm, my left arm, in 3rd grade. Me and my sister and our friend were biking.
Wow, you had the dream.
Yeah. We were biking.
What color was your cast?
I had to have to get 2 casts because I had a full arm cast, I think, for 8 weeks, and I had to have a short arm cast for 6 weeks.
People sign it twice.
Yeah,
bitch.
so it was. I think I got the electric yellow one or neon yellow. I don't know why. And then I had
your microphone.
I had a pink one, and the second one.
I remember when I was I must have been 6 or 7 years old, and I went to work with my dad, and I was always wearing flip flops. I lived in Florida, and I was outside. I guess I was outside playing, and I stepped in glass, and I was outside another business, and the guy came out, saw I was probably screaming, and I told him my dad works over there. The way he picked me up, I just remember him he basically held me like I was a basketball. I remember just dripping blood, and I'm like. That's just a random memory that I have.
Yeah,
wow.
Wait, you got hit by a car. Have we shared that?
Did we? I did get hit by a car. Hello.
Hello, camera. Did we?
Wait,
did we?
Oh.
Did that happen during our break?
The scooter?
It happened
the
in
door?
May. Yeah. Did we talk about
Pretty
it?
sure you talked about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind.
Great. So I got hit by a car, but I didn't break anything.
Yeah.
Actually, hard to say I didn't go to the doctor. So,
Yeah.
but we're all good.
Yikes.
The bruise is still there from May. So,
The funny thing is, I think a couple weeks before my foot, I'm pretty sure I broke a rib playing soccer, and I never got
remember that.
checked out because broken ribs, you don't really do anything for them unless they're potentially puncturing something. So I was like, I'm not going to waste, going into urgent care just to tell me that it's broken. And hindsight being what it is, I should have rested more because I pretty much still just continued doing my activities painfully. And then when I had to start using the crutches, I could feel my rib hurting also. But now that I've had to sit, I think it's finally healed. So probably for the better that way too. But
your body's just getting a full repair right now.
I hope so, because if this is what the 30s are, I don't want it.
Woo!
You completed your Saturn return, and now your body is. I don't know where I was going
Yeah,
with
I think
that.
you guys
A
are on the other
rebirth,
end of
kind of?
your Saturn return,
Yeah.
which is good because I hear Saturn returns are rough.
It seems like it because
Yeah.
I don't know
Those-
how long it's been, but
It's like 28 to 30 or 31.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah, those are
okay.
pretty rough years.
Yeah, that's
I would say the
and
last
down.
few years of my 20s kind of ruffled me a little.
Yeah.
30 wasn't so bad, but
I would say actually 28. I feel like when it started getting better for me. I mean, up and down things, but nothing like I don't know.
yeah, well,
I went to Trader Joe's today, and they have
all your
all the
pumpkin.
fall stuff. And yeah, all the pumpkin stuff. I have a bunch of stuff in there if you guys want to try after the pod.
yeah.
Do you guys like pumpkin? What?
I fucking love pumpkin.
Y'all,
Love
pumpkin.
pumpkin.
Favorite-
I love me some
favorite
pumpkin.
activity.
Okay, anyways.
So I guess in my time off, I thought I would be very not active, productive. I was like, I'm gonna knit and crochet and do more span. No, I've just mostly watched TV.
The
and
30s
listen to
have hit you
podcasts.
differently than me.
Yeah. But so this was just recent, actually. So I know you guys have heard of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I've been told that it's insane.
It's, like,
and
trending right
incredible.
now.
Yeah.
So when I originally saw, because the Bachelor ended, and then there was like a whole they pushed this so hard, obviously, like the previews and stuff. Originally, I thought it was more like a documentary because I'm not on TikTok, so I'm not familiar with the whole. So it's a bit mom talk. It sounds like mom talk every time, but it's mom talk.
I mean, that's not on my For You page.
Same.
It seems it's a little. So they're Mormon, obviously, so it's a little specific. But so I guess the big scandal, and I did hear about this. I don't remember exactly when it was. Maybe 2023. One of the mom came out saying her and some of them were swingers.
Oh,
So-
wait, I
yeah.
have seen this.
Right. So, and of course, Mormons, like the idea is that they're very they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't
No,
do,
they're the
you
freaks.
don't have sex before marriage, like you get married, blah, blah, blah. And so most of them on there are like, yeah, I got married at 18, I got married at 19. And they all have like 2 to 3 kids. But then you kind of see the contrast in some of them. Like some, they literally call it in the show like saints and the sinners because some are like more like true, like I follow every Mormon thing. The other ones are kind of like some drink or like, a little more party-ish. So it's just very interesting and so it all centers around this mom talk because they all got, pretty big and that's like all what they make money off of. They all like talk about, they're all the breadwinners in their families. You see their husbands like every once in a while. But then it makes me think, I'm like, should you have been a Mormon? Some of these girls are 28 and already divorced and married again. And like, I'm 31 and I have not even found somebody to marry. So it's like, what?
Not that you want to get married.
No, I know. But yeah, crazy show, would recommend.
Kind of reminds me of My Unorthodox Life. Did you guys ever watch that?
No.
No.
I forget her name, but
Is that the Amish?
no, the
Oh.
Orthodox Jews.
Oh.
A woman who like escapes, but it's so hard to get out of
Oh,
those.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was like a reality. Actually, it wasn't that good of a show, but like I find that just so interesting. People like escaping extreme religious, dare I say, cults, because they live that life for so long, and there was a point of time where they were happy in it, and then they, I guess, have some sort of revelation, and they're like, wait, this is not the best of life.
It is interesting because I mean, they're so like they talk about their parents were Mormons, their parents were Mormons. They're like it's such a long line of Mormonism, and I wonder if obviously now because of the internet, like it's easier to like see what's going on outside of the funny thing too, like things I knew like kind of the strict things like they don't drink, but apparently they're like hardcore soda drinkers because like they're not allowed to drink coffee or tea either, which I don't really understand why you
That's
can
crazy.
drink coffee. You
Mormon.
can't drink,
And
Yes.
that's where I draw the line.
but so they like we would have bars. They have like soda shops on like every corner, and they're open at like 8 a.m. They go get like 44-ounce sodas at 8 a.m. and that's like what they drink, and they're insane. It's not just a soda. They add, it's like one of those where they add all like it's like a coffee bar where they have every different flavored syrup, and they add that in there, or like coconut cream. So that's like, but literally,
I mean, everybody's got to have a vice.
I mean, I guess that's what it is. Exactly. That's what they say.
Not to make this about me, but speaking of soda, I mean, it's my podcast, so I can say whatever the fuck I want about myself. I'm actually. I know this is where everyone's going. I've been trying to. I'm a big soda drinker, but I've been trying to not become one. Also, I don't know if
Do you drink coffee in the morning?
Yeah.
Every morning?
Yeah, like a
Okay.
cold brew.
Yeah.
Something that I'm also kind of given up. I mean, it's been like 6 days, and it's not something I don't think I've ever announced that I do on the podcast. But vape, I haven't vaped
Wow.
since Friday.
I'm proud of you.
So-
But you lost it and just didn't buy another one. Yeah.
Did I tell you this?
Yes. That was after day 1, though. So I just assumed.
So now it's been like
Wow,
6 days,
okay.
or 5 or whatever. But like, it's kind of proven. Yeah, I lost it. It was already like it was kind of running out. I was gonna have to get a new one anyways, but I did lose it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna get another one. And it's kind of proven. It's proving to myself that it's not, for me at least. This is just for me. It's not an addiction. It's a habit. And that
It's more like what is that? Like where people need something in their hand, like fiddle
Yeah.
with or like chew on. It's
Yeah.
almost like that tactile.
I find myself, I'm just like laying down, and I just, it's like a
now it's just like a not a tick, but
Like
like,
an
a,
impulse.
Like, yeah, impulse,
Yeah.
yeah. And like I have that still, like to this day. I'm like, oh wait, it's not there. And it's not like where I'm like fiending, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna like I can step out of my apartment and get one in less than 5 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of nice that I'm able to prove to myself that it's not an addiction for me. I know people are addicted to it. That's not
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Anything inappropriate you say today, I'm just going to blame it on your vape withdrawals.
Right. You're
Yeah.
being a little mean.
Yeah.
Well, somebody was talking about Zyn, and I guess I'm not, like, I've heard of it vaguely.
Yeah, I'm not really with it either.
Basically, it's like nicotine and like a pouch, and then you like put it in your mouth. It's not like chew, but it's like straight nicotine goes.
But
in it.
it's
apparently
that's
there's like
tobacco.
levels
Like, it's
to
like-
it. Yeah, I don't know.
you're dipping. You're dipping.
And it's like the same thing. Like dip. Like a lot of people try and like get really sick right away because it's just like that instant. So they're telling me it's like because there's levels to it, and apparently they actually took like the highest level, and they felt like so like crazy because it just hits you so quickly. I'm like, that just does not sound enjoyable to me at all.
I question how people get into like nicotine and smoking cigarettes because every time I've been a little drunk and cigarettes are around and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I take one hit and I feel so freaking ill
yeah.
for the rest. So I'm like, how do you get past that?
I don't
I
know.
think-
You're like, this thing makes me sick. Let's do it again.
You know what it is? People are pretending that they like
People,
cigarettes.
I think
True.
people are pretending that they like nicotine.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a point where it gets addictive. I guess if you do enough where you're pretending, but you actually take enough puffs or whatever, like you're going to potentially get addicted to it. I think I've taken one puff of one cigarette once in my life, and that I was just
It's enough.
I'm not. There's
used
nothing
to
for me
be
that
a
does it,
social smoker.
and that's
like
pretty
when
common.
I would drink.
Yeah, especially when you're drunk. I feel like people are always saying it.
But I think it's because I saw it on TV and movies, and I think it looks cool and
Like Carrie Bradshaw, like I'm
Yeah.
sure she's probably like one of the pioneers of making people smoke at that time, just because it was like New York City life. Look at me, I smoke, and
yeah,
so
definitely that.
Glamorous.
right
Now, I like sometimes I get that like random drunk urge if someone's smoking a cigarette. Like, oh, I want to hit it. It literally the nastiest thing I've ever had in my life. I don't know how I used to enjoy it.
I feel like even if I would, like, I feel like I would, even when I did take one puff, I just don't like the smoke. But I don't even remember, like, inhaling truly. I feel like I just, like, and then, like, you know.
I think I saw one commercial of the things where she's like, I smoked
Oh my God.
for 53 years. And I was like, pass. I'm good on that.
I did have a friend once that some of my friends would smoke, like, pretty, like, intensely, like, not just, like, casual smokers, like, they smoked all the time. And I was, like, joking, and I was like, I'm going to send you a picture of diseased lungs every day. Like, so and I didn't last very long, because I think he actually really got annoyed with me. But I was like, you know, maybe this is
That's like positive
you know.
gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I would look up my parents smoked at one point, and I would look up Bible verses, like your body is a temple, and I would like cry and be like, if you're not going to do it for me, do it for Jesus.
Oh my god.
That's Texas.
My parents hated me as a kid. They were like, what a little narc. Like, you little
I just
nerd.
also feel like I would not go out as much to bars if people could still smoke in bars. Because even my mom, like, she didn't really go out, but like, you know, long time ago, every once in a while, the guy she was dating at the time would go out and she'd come back smelling like cigarettes. And she didn't smoke, but like you just go in a bar and that's what you smell like.
And it's like in your hair. It's like being by a bonfire.
And that takes days. Or like, yeah, in wintertime, I don't want to bring my coat in there because then you don't wash your coats, you know?
Yeah.
So I just can't imagine that, you know, nowadays.
Recently I went to like this cigar bar, and I thought like, oh, this is gonna be so chic, but like everyone was smoking cigars, and I'm just like, I'm like, this is not fucking chic. But I did read, I mean, I read it on social media, so who knows it's true, but I think it is true that there are less smokers today than there were. I forget what the stat was, but like people aren't smoking cigarettes as much as they used to.
They've
But
switched to vape.
Well, I guess that's the skewed perception.
wonder if-
is that people think vapes are somehow
True.
like healthy,
Which they're not.
No,
They're
right.
not.
But they're flavored and fun, pretty colored, and more convenient, and you can
And you
technically
don't
get away.
stink after.
And you can get away with smoking them inside
True.
most places.
Yeah.
You know, so I think
Yeah, I wonder if that stat was not even. It was probably just specifically on cigarettes.
skewed. Yeah, skewed a little.
And it's probably like just because the sale of cigarettes aren't.
right.
It's not. Yeah.
Well, they're also like $17,
That's
which
what I
is
was
crazy.
thinking, too. I was like, how do you afford? I mean, especially there's people who smoke like 2 packs a day. Like how?
You spend $40 a day on
That's-
cigarettes,
Yeah, I mean,
roughly.
that's wild.
I hear or I've read that a lot of reality TV stars like pick up smoking because like specifically RuPaul's Drag Race, like the only way that you can like get a break is if you're going to smoke. Like that would be like a lot of people's reason. So some contestants picked up smoking because of that. And
That's so wild because that's like in the job place too. Like people would be like, I need to go smoke outside of their regular scheduled break. It's like, well, what the fuck do you get to go outside and sit up 10, 15 minutes just to smoke? Like that's not like you need to go sit down because something is wrong with you.
Well, I have been watching, or I guess I just finished it, Chimp Crazy.
Heard of it, yeah.
I've heard you tell
every
like 12
single
people
listener.
about it.
I've told every class that I've taught for the last week. But I just like need you to understand. It's 4 episodes long. It's the same director of Tiger King. It's about these ladies with these chimpanzees. But it's the craziest thing I've ever watched.
Where do the ladies live?
They live all over the place.
Oh.
Like
so
they
there's
don't
more
they
than-
don't live together. It's like more than one group of people that own chimps
In America?
in America.
That's-
They're all in America. So think of,
They say it's legal.
do you guys remember that it's legal in some states?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that lady who I remember the 911 call where she calls because her chimp is attacking her friend?
Yes, I remember this.
I remember that's part of it, like a small part of it. But the main girl is nuts. And you're watching it and it's just, there's no plot development. It's just like crazy thing after crazy thing after crazy thing after crazy thing. And then she commits a crime on the documentary. And even like, and then it like pans to, I'm not even like giving it away.
Yeah.
And then it pans to the director and the director's like, what the fuck do we do here? And he was like,
Like she
I
admitted to
guess we
something?
keep rolling. Yeah. And so then they just like kept rolling and ran with it. But
Is-
it's so,
Is she in prison now?
I don't know. I don't
Oh.
think so. I don't think so.
Is it over? Like, have you seen the?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just 4 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But everything is just like, oh, what?
I will say chimps creep me out. Like, I don't know. Going to the zoo and you see the gorillas, they're just too human looking, and you like look at it. It's
They're
just like
smart.
freaky.
Well,
Yeah,
this is going to creep you out too because
Yeah.
they are very human-like.
That's what
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like treating them like they're children.
Yeah, that's creepy. I don't
Listen,
know.
I'm going to tell you this. This is like a wild part. Again, I can tell you this, and I'm not giving anything away really, because this is just such a small part. But there was one lady who had a chimp, and the chimp was malnourished, and the lady was a chimp baby, and she had just had a regular baby, and so she had one baby on the tit and the chimp on the other. Was
No.
breastfeeding
No.
the chimp.
That's creepy.
It's creepy. The whole thing is creepy.
Isn't
Wait.
it kind of like
Yeah, I was
bestiality?
about to say.
Like, isn't that in the same realm of
Yeah.
like, I mean,
It's wild.
She
Well,
had
and the
a- she
whole
had a
documentary
chimp
is like
sucking her tit.
right?
is
Which-
like them
yeah,
versus
like,
PETA, but being like, yeah, don't own chimps.
no.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm interested. I want to.
good. I'm
After
glad.
this-
I'm glad I drew you in, and I hope I drew all of you in too. Because please, let's talk about it.
She gets a commission off of it.
Right, off of Chimp Crazy views.
I feel like I'm watching so many shows simultaneously, but like nothing is good.
So I just finished did you watch the season of The Bachelorette?
Yeah, crazy,
Okay, terrible.
Poor girl.
Poor Jen. Like,
Yeah,
justice for Jen, because so she was the first Asian American Bachelorette, and beautiful, amazing. But the whole controversy was that there was two other girls on the last Bachelor season who people assumed were going to be the Bachelorette. Pretty much happens every
pretty
season.
popular
People
girls.
know,
Yeah.
there was some, whether no one exactly knows, but supposedly the other two both said no. So Jen ended up as the next choice, and she was great on the season, like fun, cute, whatever. Was in PA school, so like obviously very smart, great choice, right? But basically, so like when the Bachelor and Bachelorette, they cast like pretty ongoing, but then when they announce it, like they have specific people or who they think is going to be, people are applying to specifically go on that for that Bachelor or Bachelorette. So the way I guess it happened, it was that it was so short notice that Jen was announced. They had already casted it basically. So then there, basically you get to the end, her final two, you can tell both of them don't really seem like they want to actually get married. One has allegations out there. Nothing has been really proven, but he apparently has sexual assault allegations, domestic violence allegations. He was branded, he was a military veteran. So he was from the get-go when he comes out of the limo, he was like branded as like, you almost thought he was gonna be the next Bachelor. Because like, oh, no, it's the American hero, he's handsome, blah, blah, blah. But then by the end, you're kind of like, ugh. And then the other one basically even talks about he was like Pete Davidson. Like he kind of gives that
He's such a weasel.
nerdy vibe, but like like I don't find him attractive, but
Like
kind
was
of that same-
definitely not cool in high school, and is like really
No.
trying to make up for it in real life.
And he was kind of like involved in the drama, and usually the people like towards the beginning, and usually those people don't go far, like on both sides, whether they're
Right.
the true villain or just involved in the drama.
He's like the
Normally-
mouthiest one.
Yeah. And somehow he ends up all the way to the end. And so she ends up proposing to him. That's supposed to be like the crazy ending, whatever. So they don't even show it. So anytime the Bachelor and Bachelorette air, they do the final rose or after the final rose live. So basically like they're watching, you see the ending, and then they like usually meet with the whoever it is and talk about it. Before they even show the ending, they have Jen come on and basically say how it broke up before they're already broken up. Basically, like he like right after that said he had been having doubts this whole time, and like he just doesn't love her anymore, and it clearly came off very much as like, oh no, you didn't even want to get like, you didn't want to get engaged to her.
And then he like kind of ghosted her.
Yeah, and they bring her on or bring him on, and he's just like kind of laughing and just being totally douche. Like you're just like, ew, you're just gross. Anyway, so this has been happening over the past like week or so. Well, today he just released a 13-minute long. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw like Bachelor post it and then did the recap of it, just trying to like say like, oh, we broke up and Jen fired our therapist because they like talk about they tried couples say whatever. And then he like apparently posted a bunch of screenshots like of their text messages, like trying to prove a point. And apparently he like obviously like cropped out a lot of stuff and like blacked out a lot of stuff, so it didn't say a lot. But then there was one he didn't crop out them basically like sexting, and he posted that. So that's like basically like revenge porn, like in a way. Like how dare you post like private text message? And
For what reason?
He was trying to make himself look better. And
Because everybody hated
because
him.
everyone hates. I mean, people are like,
Why would that make him look better?
I don't, because he's trying to say like he actually like he tried to make it work basically, which again I didn't watch the whole video and I didn't read the screenshots, but alone to post something like that is so gross. And
Ew.
it just tracks on what he
Those types of shows, zero interest. You're like telling the story, and I can tell why someone would find that fascinating, but like, and great storyteller, but boring. Like that was so boring to me. Not you. Like that was just so boring.
I
to me.
used to find it a lot more interesting because I feel like there was a lot more like purity to it. Like people were genuinely, but the last few seasons that I've watched, like you can just tell that people are on there to,
Well, that sounds
to
the
be
most
famous.
real. That sounds the most realistic
Kind of
scenario
true.
to
So
me.
like the last Bachelor, Joey was great. Like I think people
true.
that was like one of the highest rated seasons of recent memory because he was actually wholesome. You could tell they're still together. They're engaged. You know what I mean?
He like asked questions about her.
He seemed so
did the bare
engaged.
minimum.
Yeah, but you can also tell all those women were there for him.
Mm.
So again,
Yeah.
this goes part of it because obviously there's again this is the first Asian American and this has been on over 20 years now. The Bachelor, Bachelorette. So it's just like. You finally do this. You have some diversity, and you did her so dirty by not even having men that are there specifically to date her. Because obviously they weren't; those men didn't.
And the
find
other
her
girls
that
were
type
just
that
like
way.
very different
Yes.
from her personality wise.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
And that was part of the beef, I guess, was like one of the first things that happened once they broke up was he followed the other girl on Instagram,
yeah.
which is just like.
But
gross.
again, it's just sad. Like again, you're on the show that supposedly is about love, and you can't even like.
yeah.
douchebags.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
No, I definitely get the appeal, but I don't know. I'm just not interested in like love stories. Like, I'm just not. Like, I like reality TV,
What a dude.
and yeah,
So proud of you.
masculine.
It's
I
really
like
giving boys trait.
Yeah.
I like reality TV, and like I like the drama when it has to do with relationships, but like the show isn't about the relationships. You know, like I'm thinking like Vanderpump Rules. All the drama has to do with who slept with who and yada yada yada. But like that's not what the show is about.
Right.
Even though I just said it is, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when it comes to like those like love competition shows, I'm just like, I mean I definitely used to love them. Like you know, Rock of Love, Tila Tequila, Flavor Flav. But I was never like, ooh, I want this person to end up with them, because I think those shows were so different. Like no one really liked
Flavor Flav.
or Brett
Michaels.
Brett
Yeah.
Michaels. Like
They're
I mean-
celebrities, so that's the draw there. Is
Yeah.
Of course, these women are like, okay, let me go after this celebrity. Maybe I can marry and get some.
like
money.
we're
I'm not
rooting
sure,
for like the
but-
hottest and the coolest ones, but they're like way hotter. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
deserve better than
That is fucking me up under this table.
you're getting scratched.
Not really. He like came up on my toe to start, and then he just brought his finger up. Hi.
Your
You never-
hand's
there
probably
were
dang-
no
it's your
nails.
fault, honestly. If your hand's down there, it's
Oh,
You just
you're
never know
still
when he
doing
might
it.
strike.
Oh,
them. See, I love like Love is Blind. Love is Blind UK. I think you also watched.
Love.
Together, great show. Love is Blind comes out October 2nd. The USA version. It's in Washington D.C., which I find interesting because having lived there, I'm curious.
You've also dated in Washington.
Yeah,
DC.
I'm also just curious because like it's usually like the DMV is kind of like the overarching area of that. But then there's seasons where it was like Seattle and they got somebody from Portland. So I'm thinking like, okay, if you live in DC, are they going to get somebody from like Baltimore, which is a long distance really, unless you're planning to move. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like the traffic in that area is so bad. Like it. I just cannot imagine. Like I barely wanted to go to Virginia. Like you know what I mean?
I love
Like
how you're worried about that.
no, but that's what I'm thinking about when I think about this. Because I just don't.
Says the girl that
We'll travel to the Bronx.
Okay, but I can sit on
That's
the
w-
subway, and it's way different than
True.
driving an hour
True,
and
true,
20
true.
minutes
Yeah.
versus
I
me
agree.
chilling, listening to podcasts or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like I've been like harassed to watch those shows. Like specific, which is the one that was like crazy?
Love Island.
Love Island.
The USA version, which normally I don't even watch the USA because it's not anywhere near like UK is
It's
usually like the prime one.
great.
UK this year was boring. The US, and that's why they blew up now. They're like at Fashion Week. They're everywhere. You know.
I feel like I've been harassed to watch that show.
It's
They're like,
should be.
you don't watch that? I'll give you my Peacock login. Watch it. And I'm like, oh my god.
It's a time commitment though because it's like
They're like 40 episodes.
It's like 60
Oh.
or yeah.
Wait,
It's
really?
a lot. It's on for like 8 weeks every day except one day. So
Oh.
it's a
Yeah.
Either way, it's a lot.
I watch Big Brother, and there's 3 episodes per week,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like
That's
if I get behind, I'm like 3 episodes behind, and they're like an hour. I'm like, what the
You're done?
fuck?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, I do. But
yeah.
yeah, because I truly see myself on that show. Like, especially this season that's going on right now. I was like, I would eat this competition up right now. I don't know. I've auditioned for Big Brother a few times, so Big Brother, if
If you're listening,
it's my time. And I will admit, I really only started watching last season 25, and season 26 is on right now. Before that, I've like watched an episode here and there. So all the contestants, they are diehard Big Brother fans. Like there's like lingo and things that like I'm just starting to pick up on, but I got it. So like I'm ready to I can do it.
So is that like, do you think it's an advantage to be fresh to it, or like an advantage to have watched all 25 seasons?
It seems like they want people that know the show
Yeah.
and people who are enthusiastic and like about it. But because one of my auditions, I've auditioned twice, and I don't remember if it was the last one or the one before, where I basically admitted that I don't know a whole lot. And I thought like, oh, that could be interesting.
Right.
And maybe it is, you know, who's to say? They probably didn't even watch my tape. But like, I don't know. But I guess next time around I will prove that I know Big Brother.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I'm like aging out. Like I've been wanting to go on reality TV since like before I was even able to, like before I was 18 years old. And now I'm like, if I get on reality TV, I'm gonna be like the old bitch.
I don't know, but it's changing now. They have the golden Bachelor and Bachelorette, you know, people in their 60s and 70s dating.
That's what I'm holding out for.
Yeah. That's good.
I see that for you. I see you on one of those kind of love shows that I don't watch.
As 35 trying to date the 60-year-old, though.
Yeah.
I
The
would.
daddy, yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
Exactly.
Would you? Oh my god.
Talk about getting old.
I literally just turned my neck really fast and ow.
That's tough.
Damn. Yeah, I'm getting old. Are we all getting attacked by Noah right now?
He rubbed.
He's
now
needing
he's sniffing.
attention.
Yeah.
I think he might
Definitely.
eat my toes, but you never know.
Would you go? Would you go on a reality TV show?
I really want to go on The Amazing Race. I think it would be really fun, and I feel like I'd be good at it. I'm pretty good at like puzzles, and I'm pretty like, you know, I know my way around places really well.
You do.
Honestly, we'd probably all be good at Big Brother. It's a lot of like puzzles.
Yeah. I mean, I was like the challenge would always like, but obviously it's been on the real world. I was talking about this with somebody too. Like, I miss the real world. I don't know if they could do it the same now anyway, because again, it would probably be more like just influencer type people. But like, really, when it was on, it truly was like
Oh my God.
real, like
That
you
was-
know,
Yeah.
and it was so interesting. I think
That's the show I'm talking about. When I was like 14, 15, 16, that's the show I wanted to be on.
Yeah.
I wanted to be on the Real World
Yeah.
so bad.
because then you could be on Real World Road Rules Challenge.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that
now
would look so fun.
now they have Big Brother
yeah.
contestants.
Yeah, it's like a
and
bunch of people, but
all different. Yeah.
yeah, that was always my.
They even have Love Island people on there.
because that was no. Oh, it's I don't know. There's way too many fucking streaming services and whatever. But
Anywho, let's pivot.
Let's get controversial.
Yeah, but before we go there, can we talk about how we are only a month away from the three of us going to the Eras Tour, which is something we've planned and talked about for over a year.
it's crazy because I've seen like countdowns. It's like 90 days. Now it's like whoa. And now it's like literally
Whoa.
happening in a month.
I bought my flight today.
Did you?
Just my flight there.
Oh my god,
I really
I haven't
need
bought
to.
my flight
Yeah,
back,
they got more
but-
and more expensive, and I'm like,
they were
Yeah.
already kind of expensive.
yeah. But either way, yes, I'm so excited, and we get to see it the first show
Back in the States.
So hopefully some fun new things, maybe surprises. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting.
We're
Very
going to
exciting.
see Taylor Swift.
I know.
I guess yeah. I just wanted to say that because I feel like it's been a long time coming, and yeah.
Well, and of course she's everywhere and as she has been for a while. And so that kind of leads into a controversial opinion I have because of what's going on in the media and everything happening. Obviously, presidential debate is literally just starting right now. And so with the Taylor Swift thing right now, there's so many things. There's so many like layers and levels to this. So, I mean, people may know one of her concerts in Austria got canceled because there was a very real and could have happened terror threat. And people got so mad at her because she didn't say anything right off the bat. So the end of the European tour, which was London, she put a long post out about saying like silence is sometimes necessary, basically, for safety reasons and things of that nature.
And it made sense. Like
Right. Because you can incite extra violence or things like that. I'm not saying that's the exact same situation, but she's still in a very public eye. We've seen a supposed assassination attempt where his supporters stormed the Capitol. You know what I mean? So there's just like not a level also of that these people probably wouldn't go to. So like I could also see from like a safety perspective, and of course that's all speculation. You know what I mean? You
Right.
just don't know. But I think that just adds another layer to it. Like, and she also has already endorsed Democratic. She endorsed Biden Harris in 2020. Could have her entire life changed in these past 4 years that she doesn't want to anymore? Sure, maybe. I don't know. But she's like getting so picked apart for hugging Brittany Mahomes, which if you don't know the story, so Taylor is obviously dating Travis Kelce, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. His quarterback, also one of his best friends, is married to a girl named Brittany Mahomes. They're from Texas. Not saying that's a thing, but, clearly, either way, she found... I don't know what these exact story, but apparently a lot of the Taylor Swift stans, again, stan culture becomes a whole nother thing, found likes of her liking things about Trump and like supporting Trump in certain...
She liked like 2 posts on Instagram.
It is crazy the way people sleuth. I think it's insane the way people sleuth.
Especially because you can't even see likes. Maybe back in the day when you had the Instagram like things, but now
I think it's pretty easy. I think you can just, for like a celebrity, you can look and like the most high profile people will be at the top,
I guess. But either way, so Sunday was Thursday night, there's a game. She was apparently sitting in a different suite than Brittany. So people are like, oh, thank God she's not endorsing it. US Open happened. They were seen together and hugging. And this became the whole thing. Now there's this whole mission of like Blackout Taylor. And these are coming from her fans. These aren't just like other people also. Which is this? It's all just very ironic because this is what she wrote her whole song about. Like, but Daddy, I love him. Like, and talking about judgmental creeps.
Literally, leave me the fuck alone.
Right. It's the exact same situation. And then I did also see a funny tweet. She's like, oh, she's definitely going to drop Reputation now because it's like 2016 all over, where she's like her reputation's being dragged in the mud, Which
when is her
kind of
reputation
weird.
not being dragged?
But that's exactly it. And the fact that her fans can so quickly and again, I get it. Trump is a terrible person. He's done terrible things, said terrible things about many vulnerable groups of people. So I can also understand being those people and being, disappointed maybe that she hasn't endorsed Kamala and has seen with somebody. But also think about how many other people in your life who are maybe Republican, you're not just going to drop them. Even Chaperone just had a interview in, I think, Rolling Stone, and she talked about, she's from Missouri. She talked about family members who are Republican, and she's like, I can understand. So it's just like the level, I think, again, for Taylor specifically, like no matter what she does, there's going to be something wrong with it.
Yeah, I think, well, for Taylor Swift specifically, I think she's just way too fucking famous.
Yeah.
And like, haters are absolutely waiting for her to slip up in any sense.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't even say these are supporters. I'm seeing a lot of just like, I don't know the right word, but I feel like we live in this day and age where like, there's only right or wrong, and there's not room for nuances.
Right.
And it's just like, I feel like everyone is like kind of extremist these days.
Yeah.
On everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't fully align with me, you are the enemy.
Yeah.
And I do believe like you should stand for things. And the thing that Taylor has been specifically dragged on, which honestly I think is a bit of a stretch, is, she made this whole documentary, Miss Americana, about standing up for what's right, and now she's not standing up for anything. I would argue that the documentary, they're like one of the most pivotal moments of that documentary is her like standing up to her dad, saying that she wants to put out and endorse a Democratic nominee from Tennessee. But the documentary was about her life.
Right.
It was about her life.
Why would you assume that opinion has changed?
Yeah.
But that's exactly it too. Why
she shouldn't have to re-clarify every election?
But
especially just because she has one person supposedly in her life that has liked stuff on, and you don't know what they're all doing in private. And that's what they're saying the U.S. Open too. Like everyone else in the area, like the Haim sisters and everyone were there. And they're like, everyone else, as far as they know, is Democrats. So they're just because there's one Republican person or. It's just like it's to the point where it's like, how can you ever separate yourself from every single Trump person? And again, I don't support that, and I don't agree with them endorsing Trump, and obviously don't agree with anything Trump does. But like, that's just not society. You can't just like entirely remove yourself all the time from everything.
Yeah,
and then like, how would we get anywhere?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what is ultimately dividing our country. You know, and I think a lot of that is because of Donald Trump and his supporters. It's like they
100%.
almost made it like you have to. But I mean, I definitely know people. I'm friends with people who have unfortunately voted for Trump. I'm not proud of it. I wish they didn't. But they're not horrible people.
Yeah.
I mean, and I struggle with that too, because it's like, you know, you're supporting someone who doesn't want anyone at this table to have rights, you know?
Yeah.
So that sucks. And I get why and how that weighs heavy on people's hearts. But to your very first point about this whole conversation is, I do think we put way too much responsibility on celebrities. Like,
I know.
But the thing is, people aren't changing their mind because a stranger is having a conversation. The way that you have like real conversations and that would actually sway someone one way or another would be if that person trusted you. Like if I was sitting here, which I'm not, saying that I'm a Republican and you're a Democrat, but we love each other. So like I'm actually going to listen to what you have to say rather than some guy in a bodega that's yelling at me because I'm a liberal snowflake and then telling me why I should believe, I'm not listening to anything that he says because I'm defensive. So like if we're no longer having relationships with people on either side, then nothing is going to change.
But I guess that brings it back to like the idea of like the stan culture, is that there's some people who are so intensely involved in these celebrities that they do almost need them to tell them, hey, I endorse Kamala. Like, okay, now I will. Not necessarily that they were going to vote for Trump if their celebrity person didn't, but they might not vote at all.
But Taylor Swift did get a lot of people to register to vote.
And that's the thing. She even posted, I can't remember what it was, but she just posted like something about registering to vote, like vote for who you need. Like, and at the end of the day, that's important. Like, of course, we don't want Trump to win, but voting is still like the biggest thing. And hopefully eventually we're going to get back to like a more normal set of,
democracy.
Yeah.
I'm not really convinced that. Okay, Taylor Swift obviously has a lot of influence, arguably the most influence of anyone right now. But I think anyone who is voting, they know who they're voting for. They don't need Taylor Swift to tell them who to vote. The only people that she could probably actually influence, and by influence I mean like literally influence by definition, are people who can't vote. You know what I mean? Who aren't currently eligible to vote.
True.
So I don't know. I just think people are way too obsessed with celebrities and rely on them way too much for what? Like,
for what?
They don't know you. They don't really care about
embarrassing.
you. Like, yeah.
It's so embarrassing when I see people do 15-minute thought pieces on TikTok about how horrible this girl who just writes love songs is. Like, really? Like,
well, that's like people are like, there's like things even saying like telling her to hope her private jet crashes. It's just like, what world would you wish that on anybody? Especially she just went through this, like she had to cancel concerts because there was literally a terror threat and her and many people could die. So like now it's like, oh, now she deserves to die. Like I don't know. People are just too chronically online.
Really? I feel like we could sum up this entire podcast with all of the reality TV, with all of like this conversation, and just be like, people are actually crazy. Yeah. Like I would say the majority, if you have like sane critical thinking skills, and I don't even know that I would consider myself like fully sane,
we're all a little crazy.
Like a healthy amount of crazy, but like people are out there like crazy.
I was having
crazy and dumb. Crazy and dumb is a terrible combination. There are a lot of them out there.
That's hence why Trump, kind of was able to.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, if you have to be at least a little insane to be like, I love Trump.
Yeah,
there has to be a little insanity in you. But to your point, I think we were having this conversation the other day at brunch about like impulsive thoughts, and I have a lot of impulsive thoughts, like the most random things, like I don't know, what if I just like shove that old lady across the street? Like, what if I just did it? You know what I mean? Or I'm on an airplane. What if I just open up that door? It's obvious. I hope it's obvious, but I'm not going to do that. But it made me think, I kind of understand. I understand schizophrenics. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm able to have that thought as what I would classify myself as a sane person, imagine if I just was like slightly chemically imbalanced maybe I would have done that.
It's because you're able to turn it off. Especially people with schizophrenia have a lot of times like auditory or visual hallucinations. So they have somebody in their head. So they may say like, oh, I should open that door. And then they're like, no. But then somebody is like, no, do it. So imagine like, again, you could like, yeah, you know you're not going to do it. Like you have these intrusive thoughts, but you're like, it's just like a weird like blip. You're like, oh my God. But they cannot stop thinking. It's like this obsessive thought. And then if there's something, or they see somebody, and that's maybe why they attack somebody. They see somebody attacking somebody, but it's not really happening. And then they try to attack the person. You know, it's just like, so yeah, that's a whole nother.
Kind of getting the chills to think about it.
But yeah, so.
But I think on a minor, like dropping it down a note, not from like a mental illness, but I do think on a minor scale, there are a lot of people that just like don't filter out all of those intrusive thoughts and just kind of like go with their gut.
Right.
Which,
speaking of intrusive thoughts, I have another controversial opinion.
ooh,
And it's big dicks are overrated.
That's true. Yep.
They're overrated, right? I feel like we're all
Yeah.
like, not we as a
there
society.
has to be enough. Let's
Enough dick.
There has to be enough.
Yeah.
There's a
We're not saying.
Let's not say we're not saying size doesn't matter.
We're not saying
No.
micro penises are underrated.
We're not saying size doesn't matter, but like after a certain amount, like
there's only so much room for it to go,
right.
no matter where you're putting it. Hypothetically,
Why are you looking at me?
I mean,
No, seriously. I mean,
You're the only one who's got one.
we all have assholes. That's what we're talking. I mean, do you have something to tell me?
No, I thought
Do
we were
women
talking
don't have
about
assholes?
dicks.
no, we don't.
Okay.
Poop. We don't poop.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Really.
I will speak for the gay community because even though they say like a lot of gay guys are like size queens, we don't want a fucking 10-inch dick up our assholes. No one is enjoying that.
Well, again, because it's only going to go so far.
Yeah.
So it's just like what.
In fact,
what's
like
the rest of it
a
for?
big old dick literally can't fit in there. Like
Arguably, girth, which is a disgusting word, is more important than length. Kind of.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You know.
I feel like we're at the late night sessions at Dumb and Broke.
Well, no. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. This seems...
And what?
All right, this is inappropriate. That is my controversial opinion, and I'm glad we're all on the same page. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
We're on the same page.
Yeah, maybe not so controversial. Maybe,
Yeah.
you know. Or it, yeah.
Let's change that. There's a stigma, though. There's a stigma that, like...
Because even as, like, I hate to, like, bring it up, but even as, like, kids, like, they're making fun of other kids about their penis size. You know what I mean? So it's like, where does that come from?
But again, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Small dick men.
yeah, I think probably their parent, I mean, maybe
Insecurities.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
I mean, and now kids can see everything on TV. Or,
Yeah.
you hear about big dick energy. I know that's like more of a philosophical idea, but like, but why can't it be?
I would rather you have big dick energy than the big dick.
Right. Or like songs just generally, you know, a lot of times talk about, I want a big dick, or, I mean, so like there's songs that literally
True.
reference, you know.
Anytime, like, a car with, like, no muffler and they, like, drive by, I feel like any person,
Yeah.
any person's first instinct is to be
Small
like,
dick
I bet they
energy.
got a small dick.
Oh, my mom has even said about like these big trucks. She
Yeah.
like, talks about, you know.
It's such a thing.
And why do you guys not know that?
Yeah,
Why
I
don't you
don't
guys
know.
understand that?
I don't
It's
know.
weird.
Toxic masculinity. That,
Yeah.
you know. A little bit.
Love it.
Any more controversial opinions?
No.
I know we got pretty controversial. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we covered a lot, I think.
We did.
Yeah. No need to watch the debate. This is your political.
Oh my God.
Political
all the
news.
commentary we covered.
Yeah.
We did cover a lot.
Yeah.
Dicks, politics.
They kind of
Taylor
go hand
Swift.
in hand. Yeah.
That
Thank
didn't
you.
work.
Close enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Like, comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.